And now we're back from outer space. Don't know what we were doing in outer space, but we were evidently there. All right, guys, so in today's podcast episode, we are going to be giving a few updates, some exciting things, some upcoming things. We are going to be talking about how we've changed again, just because...
We've changed part two.
We've changed part two, because a lot has changed in the last 4 months since our very first podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to be playing Obama Llama once again.
Yes.
And I think that we're going to, keep score this time.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what the stakes are yet.
Competitive. The first piece of news is... yesterday was our 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
5 awesome years of marriage. It seems like we've been together a lot longer than that.
Well, we have been.
You're right. We actually haven't. How long? We've been 8 years together.
Yeah, 8 years. Wait, that doesn't add up.
It
no. Well, I don't know. Yeah, but 8 years
around
together.
8 years.
And then we've known each other for a really long time.
Oh, that is a long time.
13 years we've known each other. It was 8 plus 5. That's correct. It's 13 years.
13 years. I think we've known each other for 19 years, haven't we?
No, that would have meant we met in 2000.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
school.
wrong. That's wrong. My math is not good. Don't trust me.
It's 13 years. Still a long time, though.
13 years? No, but then that would be
2006?
2006. Yeah. I'm forgetting years.
How to math.
No, it's just I'm forgetting what years we did things in, when we graduated college, when did we graduate high school and
How
stuff.
do you forget that?
I just don't think about it at all anymore.
I guess I just have it I don't know.
It's I just think that just the numbers must not be that important to me anymore.
Well, you
so
also
floof, they just
you
leave.
also can't remember months.
No.
You can't remember how old you are.
No.
So I guess remembering the years we graduated would be a lot to ask.
It's how is that super pertinent? I am the age I am.
It's not.
And
But I
just putting a number on it.
You should still know it.
Just putting a number on it doesn't matter.
How old are you? 11.
In some ways, my humor is still that of an 11-year-old boy.
That's true.
Poop is funny.
It is funny. I can't believe we didn't make any stool jokes in our stool video.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that either.
Missed opportunity.
What the heck?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's okay. Everyone made up for it in the comments.
Yeah. My gosh, they did. But for our 5-year anniversary, we went out for a nice dinner out. We watched some TV shows. We took a little bit of break.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, we finished that up. Oh,
it.
man.
Yeah,
I think we'll leave a list below of our favorite episodes. Now, again, don't watch them with younger people around. They're very much
grown up.
Very grown up content. That sounds so wrong. But it's violent and... yeah, it's mature and... anyways, moving on. But it was also interesting because, we were thinking about our 5-year anniversary, and I was I want to do something special. I did make Katelyn a present.
You did!
It was really fun to do.
You did. We should... so it's like a little... it says Katelyn and Evan and our anniversary days. Month and date.
And it looks like Scrabble.
It looks like Scrabble.
Yeah.
Well, we know it's bananagrams because for me, I freaking love bananagrams. If we could play that on the podcast and make it doable somehow in podcast form, I totally would.
But it's so impossible.
No, it is impossible.
We could hire a commentator to do a running commentary.
Oh my God, she just spelled llama. So it's like a magnet out of what type of wood was it again?
It's a fancy
redwood.
That has a weird name.
It's very fancy.
It's a funny name.
Yeah.
But I actually filmed it. We'll probably put that up on our social channel very soon.
You surprised me with it.
By the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be up already, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about how I wanted to spend our anniversary day, and I was like, you know what? We're pretty close to our ideal day right now. We got a little bit of work done. We played some games, and streamed that. Then we, hung out together and went for a long walk. And, it was great to have a well-balanced day where we didn't feel stressed in like, getting behind on anything, and we also took time for ourselves. So it was just kind of interesting that, it's like, it's extra corny to say, but it's like the biggest present we've given ourselves is the life that we want to have, and we've been crafting that over the past 2 years through a lot of hard work.
It's true. Yeah. And I know like our parents and friends and family are like, you need to take more breaks for yourself. But it's like what we do is really fun.
Yeah. It's just, but also we're going to be getting into this soon, but we've continued to kind of craft things until it is more and more enjoyable. Yeah. And we really have been making a lot of progress. Yeah. Along that path. But other things that like I want to touch on, we still have more interviews to get to. I'm sorry, Paul Jackman and Jimmy Dressa, that we haven't played your interviews yet. We're going to get to them. It's just we keep on coming up with so many topics. There's so much to cover. Yeah. Maybe we need to do bi-weekly podcasts.
Don't commit to anything.
Yeah, with last week we came out with a podcast, 3 Evan and Katelyn gamings, and our main channel video.
Have we talked about the gaming much on the podcast?
So that's 5 videos in a week. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. That's kind of like one video every day, and we streamed. That's a lot of content.
That's a lot. Yes, that's why we're not going to do bi-weekly podcasts.
I think we might have mentioned Evan and Katelyn gaming a little bit during the diversification.
Oh, we did. Yeah, that was like the main topic of last week. I already forgot what we talked about. Yeah.
But it's still going along really nicely, and it is seeming like it's a sustainable thing for us to continue to do. Mm-hmm. We've done 3 gaming videos these past 2 weeks, which probably won't be forever. We'll probably stabilize on 2 per week.
Yeah.
But it's been a really fun journey. And, getting those edits in from our editors, it's just like opening a little Christmas present. It's so fun just to watch what they've created for us. It's so great. Other news that I want to touch on is how to YouTube delays.
When you say how to YouTube, you are talking about our series that we've talked about.
I know, like that's the problem. It's like we brought it up so long ago, and then it's just been silence ever since.
Did we bring it up on the podcast? I lose track of where we bring stuff up.
We brought it up on the podcast, I think.
So we've had it in our heads for a while. Just quick recap if you haven't heard this. Yeah. We've been talking for a while about somehow putting out some form of content that is like how to make YouTube videos and grow your channel and monetize everything.
And we've been through a lot of iterations of what that looks like, where that's going to be, if it's going to be a video, if it's going to be a podcast, if it is a video, where is it going to live and everything, and how are we going to get that out there. But it's still in the works. We're still moving on some parts of it. It's just taking longer than we thought.
We need to get ahead enough on everything else that we can put time into it just in case it doesn't work out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just in case it's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably won't give another update on it until it's like happening. Yeah. Just know that we're still thinking about it.
I guess I just wanted to bring it up that we haven't given up on it. It will happen. It will happen sometime eventually.
Kind of related to that, we're giving a talk about how we went full time before. I think the number we settled on was 80K? Like 80K. I think that's what we said. I think it was around 80K. That was the roundest number.
Yeah.
But yeah, Springmake is coming up in a couple weeks. We actually, if you've been thinking about going and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, we have a coupon link. It's not a code, but it's like a link. So we'll put that in the show notes and in the description. Then you can get $100 off. But so it's an event coming up, and it's its second year, but this is the first year that it is kind of in this form, where it's going to be like, open to whoever wants to come, and it's like courses, kind of like workbench content.
Well, it's interesting because there's like talks that people are giving, and there's also workshops, like hands-on workshops. So you can learn welding, you can learn woodworking, you can learn a whole bunch of techniques. So it's an interesting mix of a whole bunch of classes all squished together. Yeah. And I think the interesting thing is, in some of the other conferences that we've gone to, a lot of people are giving talks all at the same time, but in this one, everyone goes to every talk.
Well, that's what we heard from one person. I cannot confirm that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We heard that from one person. I can't confirm that either.
Yeah, that would be interesting, though, because I feel like I never get to go to the talks, really.
Yeah.
So
it'll be really fun. So we're excited about that. That's coming up in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the topic, it's about how we've changed. But before we get into looking back and like where we're at now and reflecting on that, I want to tell you a story. It's not that impressive of a story.
Yeah. It's really built up now.
But like, it happened last week during the buffer week. And I think that it's kind of important that we kind of had this experience during the buffer week because we felt a little bit more relaxed during the buffer week. We felt like we could take a little bit more time in the things that we were doing because normally we're just rushing from one fire to the next fire, and they're fun fires. I like fire, but it's like when we're watching a show with lunch, we always have to, as soon as we're done eating, we just stop the show pretty much wherever it's at. We don't like finish it. If we're going out to eat, we go out to eat really quick at quicker places, and then we get back to work. If we go for a walk, we don't just like keep on talking. So during this buffer week, when we had a little bit more, like when we felt like we had a little bit more time, we went to Benihana because that's a longer lunch, and we just started chatting there. And I think the question I asked you is, if we could do things again, if we could go back to college or go back 5 years or whatever, 2 years, and we could start YouTube again, we could, reformat our life, what would we change and what would we do differently? Mm-hmm. And what was your answer?
My answer was basically, I mean, of course, starting it earlier is always...
Yeah, starting earlier.
It's always good.
Starting dating earlier would have been nice.
Yeah, but that's not related to the question. My answer is basically doing what we're doing, but I think it would also be fun to mix in some more, I don't really know what to categorize it as, but like lifestyle kind of stuff.
Life stuff. Like, just life stuff in general.
Yeah, not like a vlog because I don't know. It's not really my thing. But like, trying to cook something together in the kitchen, like overcooked in real life, or like I've mentioned this before, but I just love the like my boyfriend does my makeup videos. It's like kind of the dumb stuff, but the more videos I watch of that, I try not to absorb much. But the more videos I watch, we're gonna do it
of like my boyfriend does my makeup, I'm starting to pick up things. And then I'm gonna be good.
That doesn't mean you're gonna be good.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm an artist. I can art your face.
But anyways, like, it's basically a mixture of the stuff we already do with some of the stuff that I like to watch.
Yeah. But I think that the most interesting thing that we realized is that we're not far off.
Well, do you want to give your answer?
I think that my answer was very similar. I'd want to do this pretty much exact same thing. I wish that I had have started like I might have started more channels, and I'm not sure if it would have been a good idea or a bad idea to have that many channels, but I might have started like an Evan and Katelyn Tech channel. I might have started like, and this is something we've gone back and forth on. Like, should we have Evan and Katelyn Make and then Evan and Katelyn Life or something like that? I don't know. It's like where do you draw the line between these different content types? But that's something we might cover later, or we'll just figure out later and tell you guys what we figured out. Because like, I think one of the things we've learned is it's difficult and not really dangerous, but I feel like we don't want to mislead you guys, but if we project too far out on things that we might or might not do, and then we don't do them, then it's like, I feel like we're going back on our word.
Yeah.
So
everything here is just, right now we were just talking about if we could go back in time, what would we do differently? Yeah. That's not committing to anything.
No. But then we came back from Benihana and we just kept on hanging out on the porch and just talking about like the future and where we're at. And we had some really interesting conversations. And I just thought like we should just do a whole podcast about everything we talked about, which is
what
this podcast right here. Potentially looking into the future, some things that we realized is we do want to do more things like, doing a Bob Ross tutorial, which is actually coming up. You guys can know. You guys won't share too much.
I mean, you're tying that into that. I would categorize that kind of in like the lifestyle / more art side of things that I wanted to do.
Yeah, but like we can move into these different directions, and and like sorry, my words are getting confused because like I have so many things I want to say at the same time.
I know you're kind of going all over the place.
Because like when you have these conversations naturally between like the two of us, we kind of move through them linearly and one leads to the other. But like when you try to summarize them, they all get mishmashed into my head.
Well, I think so. This is where we got with the conversation on the porch.
Okay.
After talking about what we would do if we could go back in time, we realized that those are things that we might want to have the option to do sometime. Like we might want to have the option to do more lifestyle stuff or more art stuff or more like tech and gear type stuff in the future. The same way we, a little bit ago were like, it'd be nice to do games. And now we're doing games. And I don't know, if those things will happen or what, if they do, when they'll happen. But it was interesting talking about it, and that got us onto the subject of, with the gaming, we started that as a separate channel because that totally makes sense. But with these other things, are they? Do we wait until Evan and Katelyn is at a point where we feel safer in like testing the waters in these different areas? Mm-hmm. If we want to get to that point, how do we take baby steps towards that? And so one of those baby steps was doing the Bob Ross tutorial. Mm-hmm. A year ago, I think that video would have totally flopped.
Yeah.
And it still might. We don't know yet because this is not out yet.
Yeah, we're still taking a gamble.
But it's something that I've seen a handful of people do on YouTube where they like try to follow a Bob Ross tutorial, and it's always hilarious. And we've done a couple art-esque projects now with like the acrylic pours, the spin art, like the geode resin art. Mm-hmm. And so we're like, okay, those were kind of a baby steps towards this project that is slightly more, it's 100% art, but it's still like us trying to tackle a project.
Yeah.
In a way, it's just an art project. But I think like we've slowly been evolving to get to the point we're at where we felt safe in taking that baby step.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is due to the past 4 months.
Yeah, which brings up a good segue towards the...
Did I do a good job?
You did a really good job.
Thank you.
Reflecting on the past 4 months.
I blacked out there. I didn't know what I was saying.
But I think that's a really interesting thing that we can kind of cover here, like very concretely and in depth, because, looking forward, it's very hazy, but looking backwards, it's something that we do a lot, and we've analyzed the last 4 months a lot. And
because the last 4 months have been more turbulent than any other time in our YouTube history.
So turbulent. I think that starting in December, that's when we started messing with things, right?
Yeah, and I guess if you want to talk about turbulence as in like ups and downs, it even started probably earlier, like in October, because that's when we started having some pretty crazy ups.
Oh, was that with the resin?
Mm-hmm. That's when we started doing resin stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the last 6 months, I was going to say the last 4 months, but...
The four has really been when we started consciously doing things.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so I guess just to fill you guys in on some of the crazy ups and downs of our video and channel performance. Back in October, we started working with resin, and we started working with Lowe's. And the house like renovation projects and the resin projects started doing really, really well. Like,
yeah, I think
aside from collaborations, they were some of our best performing videos. Like,
I think that it started off with resin, and then we had the laundry room, and then more resin, and then
you don't need to like list you don't need to. It's laundry room or it's home renovations and resin projects.
Yeah.
So the channel was doing really well, and then we were simultaneously getting super burnt out because around that time we were also doing like 6 to 7 videos a month.
Yeah, we were super burned out.
So we're super burned out. And then come December, we were like, you know what? It's the holidays. Let's not overschedule ourselves. Let's have fun and just experiment with some different stuff and not put pressure on ourselves to do these huge projects.
Yeah.
We still ended up doing, I think, like 5 videos in December, but some of them were easier projects.
Yeah, that's when we did our very first ENK Tuesdays.
And the ENK Tuesdays, since we haven't mentioned that here, that was kind of our first little experiment with doing more casual videos, and we were like, okay, we posted on Twitter and on Instagram to get people's thoughts on, like, talk about the types of videos we wanted to do there that were a little bit more casual and not necessarily project based. And we wanted to get people's thoughts on, do we put those on a second channel? Do we start do we put those on our existing second channel? Do we start a separate channel, or do we just label them differently within our own channel?
Yeah.
People said label them differently. So that was our first, we did a handful of them, our first like step into trying non-project based videos.
But then also around the same time, our main project videos, like our Friday videos, we also started pushing those a little bit. We did the beard. We did
the beard is the holiday special where I decorated your beard and you made
you a beard.
My little lady Jesus beard.
Yep.
We did that. Well, and we felt like we could kind of experiment with that because it was
a Christmas
special. And so it was like, it was okay to be silly.
But also even like the will it cook, can epoxy cook an egg?
Yeah, that was like our science video. We were like, let's try a science video, science adjacent video.
And, we had a lot of mixed results there. Some didn't work. Some did.
Well, just to keep going, because there's even more that in that period. We also tried a video about like our podcast setup, which was kind of a gear video, a little bit. And then we also tried our Mario Kart battle video, which was light robotics and electronics, but not like hugely project based.
Yeah. And then looking after that robotic video, we kind of took a step back from experimental videos. We went back to our like core videos for a little bit. But I think that in the 8 videos we've made since the robot build, we've taken some of the lessons we've learned from that experimental phage. It's like a bacterial phage or something.
I was thinking like, isn't that
oh yeah, the yogurt.
Yogurt,
yeah. But we've taken some of the lessons we learned from that experimental phase and we've wrapped them up into the last 8 videos. And I think to very good results.
Well, interestingly, okay, so most of the videos I listed did not do well. Some did okay. There were a few videos during that time period that, were more project based, like our shed. That one did really well. But most of the experimental ones, even like the thrift store challenge we did with David, at first that one did pretty not great. It's picked up steam now and is doing better now, but a lot of them in the moment didn't do super well. And so we were really discouraged after, by the end of January.
We were like, have we lost it?
Yeah, we were like, we were doing so well in October, November.
Yeah, especially with all the resin and the laundry room stuff.
The resin and the home projects.
Yeah.
And then we were like, what happened? Like, we knew we were experimenting, but our views were a 20th, a 10th of what they were during that crazy month. And granted, the crazy month was crazy. It's not really fair to compare like a super well performing month against a super not well performing month. But
and like it seems kind of silly to like not be complaining, but like bemoaning our videos getting like still decent views. But I think that it's something that everyone faces. Like it's the relative performance that like makes us happy or hurts us in a way. And I think that like no matter what your size of YouTube channel, I think everyone feels that when you take a hit to what your norm is, it's always painful.
Yeah. I think it was especially painful because the experimentation was something we were really excited about.
Yeah, we were really excited about.
And it was partially about project type, but partially about like the filming and editing style too, like trying to be a little bit more silly and letting ourselves go on kind of silly tangents here and there, nothing too crazy, and trying to make the videos more fun and just move further away. We had already moved pretty far away from instruction, but kind of push it a little bit farther in that direction. What are you looking at?
I was laughing at my cat's favorite tape.
I thought that was a great video.
I'm just laughing at the thumbnail because like her little tongue is like licking the tape.
Yeah, it's the only way to like see her is her eyes and her tongue because she's just a little black shadow otherwise.
But I think that's one where we pushed it. That's probably the farthest we've pushed.
The Christmas sweater and the vlog. And the beard. They're all pretty far.
They're all pretty far. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we pushed it a lot. But yeah, so it was after the Mario Kart one, which that was one where we expected a lot of them. We didn't really expect them to do crazy good, but that was one that we expected to perform decently.
Because like there was electronics, Arduino, and like a
lot of people have been asking us to like try out
electronics and stuff. Yeah,
and it was like Mario Kart, video games, So we thought that one would perform a lot better than it did, and so after that, I think that's when we were like, okay. We need to re-strategize.
Yeah, reshift a little bit. I think, though, that like I can even draw some very specific lessons learned from specific videos. Ooh. I think one thing that we learned from the podcast table, that was one that probably did the worst relative to our expectations. Because I didn't really think that was too experimental. I think that you had more reservations than I did about it.
Yeah.
But I think the podcast table, one of the biggest lessons we learned is don't mix like the scope or the purpose of the video as much as we did with that.
I think sometimes purposes can be mixed and sometimes it's a lot harder. And what we mean by purposes is this video, a lot of times our videos have two purposes. It's to kind of show off the making of the project and, show how we're making this thing and you can make it too. And here's some tips you might pick up, or maybe this is inspiration. And it's kind of about the project.
Yeah.
And the other purpose is to just be an entertaining piece of content, even if you have absolutely zero interest in the project or making in general.
Yeah.
And I think that those two things can work together because like the process of taking raw materials and putting them together into a finished thing is, I think, relatively generally enjoyed by people.
It kind of tells a full, complete story because
it's the same way that people like seeing like home makeovers on HGTV or like watching time lapses of art.
Yeah.
Even if you're not going to do it, it's just kind of interesting to see that transformation. So I think that those two can kind of go together. But I think with the podcast desk, we, instead of mixing a project and entertainment, we were mixing like a gear/tech video with entertainment. And I think that gear/tech videos are interesting if you're like
interesting.
A person who's really into gear, or if you are interested in that specific gear. It's like a review kind of.
Yeah, they don't mix as well as building and stuff.
It doesn't mix as well because I think like in terms of entertainment value, and there's definitely people. I mean, I know sometimes you'll watch a tech video even if you're not really interested in that thing, but it's probably somewhat for like inspiration.
Yeah, somewhat.
But I this is just my opinion, but I feel like it's probably more widely interesting to see like a transformation of materials from like beginning to end into a finished product than it is to hear someone talk about cameras. You know what I mean?
Very true.
And so I feel like mixing the entertainment with that didn't work as well because the people who saw it and were like, oh, I'm interested in like podcast equipment or audio equipment or video equipment, I'll click on that. There was a bunch of us goofing off in that video, like playing with voice modulators and just like bantering back and forth. And if I was someone who just wanted to hear about the gear, I'd probably get super annoyed.
Yeah, and if you were there for the entertainment, you'd get bored about the gear.
Yeah, you'd get bored about the gear.
So it's like
or you might not click on
goals.
it. Yeah, or you might not click on it at all because you're like, oh, this is just a video about gear. I'm not super interested.
Yeah. But I think that was one that I drew a lot of like concrete conclusions from. I think that things that I pulled lots of little things from is kind of our vlog videos. I think that filming those vlog videos helped us get even more comfortable with kind of talking on the fly, talking a little bit longer about things, and kind of slowing down the pace of our videos.
Yeah, like not cutting so much out.
Not cutting so much out.
Yeah, making it a little bit more conversational.
Yeah,
because we used to, like, I would cut out every pause in a sentence.
Yeah, every pause.
I would totally, like, Philip DeFranco that stuff.
But also it's like, like the pace of a lot of our older videos, I can't even believe that we fit entire projects into 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it was like everything was so fast paced and there was no fat.
Yeah.
Or something.
It was very efficient. But I think when you're doing instructional videos, I think efficiency is a priority. Right. Because if someone's watching something for the instruction of it, they don't want 2 minutes of you talking up front about why you're doing it. Whereas, like, we can banter for a couple minutes at the beginning of the video now. And it's
because it's about the story and the journey content. And stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we still do try to like keep ourselves, pretty succinct.
But I think that the main purpose right now is we want the entire video to fulfill its purpose, which is like entertainment. So if you need some of that backstory to appreciate something later on, then that's critical, like bits.
It's critical bits.
it's critical bits. That bit right there. That's some critical bits. But I think that, the things that didn't work helped us like avoid those mistakes going forward.
Well, one thing that I think I realized is so during that time period, we also experimented with the kind of style shift, but still on normal project videos.
Yeah.
Like one example is the shed. And I think that one performed well. That was a good performing video, but we still kind of filmed it in the slightly sillier style, leaving in a bit more of the banter and the conversations and funny things.
And not including every single like step 1.
Yeah, we cut out a lot of steps. Just because they weren't necessary for the video. And I think that kind of showed me. We did the same thing with like the Wonder Woman video, where it was like still a normal project in terms of type of project and scope. So the solar shed and the Wonder Woman bracers. But we added in that kind of sillier editing, and I think that seemed to work.
Yeah. Another thing that
better.
I think I realized is we don't need to tell people, next up, we're going to sand. Then we're going to glue. Then we're going to do this. It's like, you're going to see us do it. So it makes more sense to like add additional information, such as like, I'm really nervous about this because I'm worried this will happen. That's more important than saying, next we're going to do this. Or tell some story, or say like, we really need this because of X or Y or Z. Tell the story and then just show yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Because like, even if you are watching for inspiration and you want to see how we use resin or see how we design things or, whatever else inspiration you're getting from, you can get that just by watching us do the things.
Yeah. Well, and the things if we say like, okay, we're really nervous about this part because if we mess this up, we have to start over. That's one, it adds to like kind of the entertainment. You feel like you're hanging out with us and doing the projects too, and like, oh, the stakes are so high. But also, if you're looking for practical tips and you're going to do that project, then it's like, oh, I know I need to be careful at this part because this is actually like a make or break moment in the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think so many lessons learned from the past 4 months, but one of the biggest conclusions that I kind of drew is, 3 and 4 months ago, we were going through an experimental phase. Our channel did not suffer a little bit. We went through a little bit of a dry spell or something, it wasn't that great. But what came from it was so valuable in the long term. Like, I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah. Yeah, because just like I was talking with the shed and the Wonder Woman bracers, where it kind of seemed to work when we combined these styles, we decided to lean into that more and, still film like project-based videos, typically like mostly project-based videos, but mix in, like keep pushing it with the style a little bit more.
And I think that what resulted from that is starting with the spin art.
The spin art. And that one actually... gosh,
our channel has been going crazy. Once we like figured out our like a little bit of our new style and our new formula and started filming in this slightly different way, I think things just clicked for us. Like the two parts of the channel that we wanted to integrate finally clicked after those experimentation videos. And then things have been much better for us, not only in terms of performance, but in terms of our happiness. Katelyn likes editing more. We like filming more. And it's just, everything is better. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I can't put my finger on exactly why the spin art video kicked it off, you know, but every video since then has outperformed our typical performance like crazy, like to the point where we're like, I don't even know what our typical performance is anymore because the past 2 months have just been insane. I'm trying to think of like why the spin art.
Well, I have some theories on the spin art.
What's your theory?
So I think that the spin art hits a lot of specific things that are like not necessarily repeatable. Using something every day in an unconventional way.
Kind of like a life hack kind of thing.
Kind of like a little bit of a life hack, but like taking a fan and destroying it and turning it into a spin art machine. Yeah. That has an element going for it.
Yeah.
2, nostalgia. That's another huge thing that like makes videos perform better. So using a common object in an unconventional way. Nostalgia. And then accessibility. You know, we've had so many people actually do
That's true. A lot of people have done the spin art.
Yeah, which is so cool.
It's really cool.
And I think that makes it more shareable. Like, you know, someone watches it and they're like, let's do this weekend. Or like, let's do something like this.
Yeah,
you know?
you can do it with your kids, you know.
And that makes it more shareable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think that those are kind of 3 of the big reasons that may not always be repeatable. But then on the other hand, over here, I think that there's kind of 2 other things that we have going for it. 1, we kind of do show enough of how to do it. We don't like list step 1, step 2, step 3, but I think that we still did break it down enough so that people basically understood.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, because a lot of people did it.
A lot of people did it. And I think another thing is we were filming it in that more kind of like, come along with us on this journey, this like hang out with us, and that more like entertaining casual style where we're not trying too hard to be like, boo-ba-doo-doo.
What was that?
Boo-ba-doo-doo. But we're also, I don't know, just really excited about it, genuinely, to take this on.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're usually pretty genuinely excited about our projects, but I see what you mean in terms of like, we didn't try to cut out like every moment so that it was nonstop excitement.
Yeah.
Or cut out every moment so that the only parts left were steps. Those are kind of the like 2 extremes, you know?
Yeah. But it was that like, I think it was one of the first videos where I felt like we had a really good balance between the 2.
Yeah. And it's just been kind of crazy ever since. And I am 100% sure that it will slow down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll hit another dry spell, I'm sure.
Yeah. But it is very encouraging. I think one reason, for the huge difference between December and January, and then like, you know, February, I guess I don't even know what happened to February, and then like March and April so far.
Yep.
I wonder if it's because, you know, during the beginning of the transition phase, you're going to have people that don't like what you're doing, that don't like the change. We had not a ton, but a handful of people comment, like probably like maybe 5 or so people. It's not a lot, but these comments still stick with you. People that commented like, you know, I liked it when you guys would actually show the steps, or I feel like you guys are just goofing off now, you know, and I miss the old videos. And there's a few people that commented stuff like that. So I'm sure there's even more people that had that sentiment and unsubscribed. And, you know, if you're putting out videos and there's a portion of your audience that is unsubscribing and or not watching, that's going to hurt you. And I wonder if those first couple months, like, weeded out those people.
Yeah.
That weren't interested in that content. And then once we had...
And everyone who was coming in liked that type of content.
Yeah, and everyone we were bringing in liked that type of content. And we actually saw a concrete shift in our audience demographics. Yeah. Like, we are, you know, most maker channels we've talked to, and we still consider ourselves, like, generally a maker channel. But most maker channels we've talked to have about 95% male audience.
Yeah.
In the age range of, like, 25 to 40 is kind of the typical. And ours was not quite that extreme. We kind of consistently had like 30%, 25 to 30% women.
We dropped, I think, to 20 or 15 at one point.
We did. Yeah, we did drop. So we still had a slightly more balanced audience, but it was still like mostly guys in the 25 to 40 range. And now, Evan's pulling it up so we can see.
I want to see how much it's changed because it changes so frequently.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are I think at one point we were at 50-50 straight up, like male to female. Now we're at 57 male or 58, I'll round up, 58% male and 42% female. But for a maker channel, that's kind of crazy. Like,
it's crazy.
It may not seem that crazy from, anyone on the outside, but like we've talked to like all of our maker channel friends that we've talked to, it's 95+% guys.
Yeah.
And then we've also shifted to a slightly younger audience. So now most of our audience is in the 18 to 24 range instead of the 25 to 34 range. And I mean, and we still have a decent amount in the 25 to 34, but we also have we're in the 35 plus and the 17 and under section. Like we're about equal. Which is like, we've never had that many young kids watching, but mostly 18 to 24, like that's a big shift. So we can see in our analytics that there has been a shift in our audience.
Yeah.
And that might be harder to see if your audience was changing, but they were still in the same demographic as they were before. But because YouTube gives you demographic information, we can actually see like, oh, this is actually a lot
shift
of new people, like enough to shift our numbers very significantly.
Yeah.
So I do think during that phase, I think one reason it started working more later on, part of it is we were learning things and figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is the audience was actually changing.
Yeah.
And I think like a lesson there is if you do want to change stuff, and change things because it's something you want to do, don't like chase a trend that you just think will perform well, because like I feel like any change, there's going to be some pain.
Yeah, change so that it's sustainable for you.
But I think like the lesson is, if you're making a change for the right reason, stick with it and keep trying and don't give up immediately. Because if we had given up, we went through 2 months of just really, really bad performance.
Yeah.
And it was kind of discouraging, but we knew we wanted to keep moving in this direction because it's what we found that we enjoyed more. And so we kept pushing, and now we're doing better than we ever have before. Like March was our best month ever. Even with like the
2 collaborations in 1 month, it still didn't compare at all.
Yeah. Even with last year, the year of collaborations, this was still our best performing month. And
by like 4 times.
Yeah, by an insane amount. So I think like the lesson is if you are someone who is thinking about doing this and you want to make a change, don't let it discourage you in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of like where we're at right now, like self-analyzing, like, because the past few days, I've just been like really content, like every day. And it's a really great feeling to have, because I mean, in the past, I've always been pretty happy, and we've always been pretty happy, but we've always also had these bigger stresses on us. And I think one reason why I've been especially content the past few days is because in the moment, I'm a lot less stressed and I'm more happy because of the buffer week. That buffer week was so good. I know we talked about it last week, I think.
Yeah.
But knowing that we have that, knowing that we can do that, and like in the moment, feeling less time pressure, it makes enjoying the moment so much easier and more possible. But also long term, seeing buffer weeks in our future, we know that we can kind of regulate things a little bit. But also long term, I think that after our talk at Benihana and in the backyard about our future, I feel a lot more confident for, I think, not the first time, but I think that pretty much this is the most confident I've ever felt about our future direction.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just kind of, it's like putting on a shoe that fits really well or something.
Yeah.
When like your past shoes were too big or too clunky or just like a little bit off, and now you're like, oh, this shoe
this shoe feels great.
He's great.
But like, we've always generally felt like we're on the right path, but we've kept on refining and we've kept on changing and figuring out more about ourselves and our audience and YouTube. And it just finally feels like we're hitting a good stride.
Yeah.
But also, I think another reason that I've kind of been realizing is making me happy is that sentence did not make any English grammatical sense at all.
It didn't make any English at all. No.
But another thing that's making me really happy is the fact that we can be creative. Being creative and like creating something, whether it's digital or physical or something, has always been an important part of my life. And I always wanted it to be an important part of my life. I always knew that I wanted to be a maker in some way. And being able to do that, I don't think I realized how important and meaningful that was until I had a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah. To me, it's also something that I've always known that I wanted to be creative in some form. I didn't know that it would be in a like maker way or in a like video type of way.
Yeah, because I think
for me it was mostly art.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think the videos that you make are a work of art.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I think another thing that we were talking about the other day that we realized is both of us have always wanted to share what we make.
Yeah, well, I think that's the interesting thing is, like, I always knew that I wanted to do creative stuff, and you always knew you wanted to do creative stuff. But one thing I didn't realize is that I've also always known that I wanted to share the creative stuff I make. Like, I used to, when I was, like, in middle school, I don't know if I should say the website. I don't think people can look it up. But I used to share my, like, sci-fi and fantasy art online. And, I got some pretty good recognition in the community of other 13-year-olds sharing their sci-fi and fantasy art online. But like,
so good.
And then after that, like when I got my first apartment, I started a blog about it because I thought it would be fun to like share the things I was like the little like crafts and DIY projects that, it's hard to do stuff in an apartment because you can't do anything physical, like permanently to the space. So I was coming up with other stuff I could do and I was sharing it. Even though no one was looking at that. We started a blog together when we bought our house.
Well, but for me, even earlier.
You had blogs.
I had blogs. I can say the website because my website's so big and so massive. And I was creating the usernames at that point in life where you create dumb usernames. But it was on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
And I shared my art and stuff there. But I also started a blog that I can't really say the name of because the SEO is still really good. You can still find it, and it's kind of not embarrassing, but there's some like private details there that we're trying to keep private about our life and everything. But I started a blog of my own in college, and I maintained it for years, and it got thousands and thousands of impressions a day. And
it did better than our blog that we started together.
It did really well. Yeah. It's like I started getting AdSense revenue from it, and I was like, "Ooh, look at this."
Yeah.
Look at this.
But I think like we both knew we wanted to do creative stuff, but one thing we didn't really think about until like we were talking about it last night. That's when we were talking about this on our walk.
Yep.
And we were like, wait, the other thing that we always have done and wanted to do is share stuff. So I just think it's interesting that we ended up in this position where we get to be creative and share stuff. And like the sharing of it's kind of equal part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. So anyways, it's just been kind of a crazy journey over the past 2 years. But I think in particular, the last 4 months have been the craziest because
very formative.
In those 4 months, we started a podcast. We changed our entire video style. We started Evan and Katelyn Gaming. We have just grown and learned so much in those past 4 months. And looking back across those 2 years, it's so interesting to kind of look at those early days of just like pushing through the mud and just working through all of this for not as much reward, but like, keeping that vision and continuing to revise that vision until it's at the point where we are just really happy with how things are.
Yeah.
High five. Congrats.
All
right, guys, guess what time it is?
Game time!
Game time! So today we are going to be playing Obama Llama, like we mentioned before. If you haven't tuned in to the last Obama Llama, what it is there's two. How do you describe this?
Okay.
Well,
so, no, I got it.
I can just give an example.
Well, I'll describe it. So, so basically, one person is reading or is saying a clue, and the other person has to guess the answer. Every answer is a combination of some figure in pop culture and an action they are doing.
Yeah. So, for example, a very fat Star Wars villain is trying to crack the hard brown fruit of a palm tree.
Jabba the Hutt cracks a coconut.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. So start with like a person start with a person.
A pop culture figure.
A pop culture figure. And then move to what they're doing or what they're...
And so some of them give you a clue, like the one Evan just read. Some you can make up clues. I kind of like when we make up clues.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think there's some challenge on the person reading,
it's kind of
too.
interesting, yeah. So making up your own clue does pose a challenge to both of you, but I also think that, like, this is a more even playing field because all of the hints are pretty good and thought out.
I like this one.
Okay. Give me an example.
Okay. Well, this is an example. We're starting.
Oh, we're starting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the twist I want to put on things is I want to keep track. I want to keep score.
So we can see who's really the best llama.
To see who is the best llama. So I think that what we're going to do is we're going to start a 15-second timer every time we ask. Like, once you read the clue, you have 15 seconds to answer. And if you don't get it in those 15 seconds, you don't get a count at that point.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And everything rhymes. That's
everything rhymes, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, Obama llama. Yeah, everything rhymes. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Tomb Raider is enjoying a green dip that we also enjoy.
Laura Croft enjoys...
Well, the actress that plays Tomb Raider.
Guacamole. Emily Foley. Dang it. I don't know her name. Laura.
She's a very famous actress.
Oh. Angelina Jolie. Oh, dang it.
I'll give that to you.
A guacamole.
Yeah. Okay. She enjoys a guacamole. Not quite the words used.
Yes, I would like a guacamole, please.
To enjoy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that generous point. Okay, now it's my turn to read to you.
Okay, here. How about I just take half of them? That way.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, if we pass it back and forth, I might see a clue that was on the same card or something.
Yeah. Okay. And once I'm done reading,
that's when I start the timer.
That's when you start. Okay.
Do I just push play to start it?
Yes. Okay. All right. So, so you can't use any of the things.
You can't use any of the words that are in the answer. It's like that's why I couldn't say eating. I had to say enjoy.
Oh.
Like she is enjoying a green dip.
Okay, so a yellow cartoon flying animal sniffs a brown stinky waste object.
Tweety Bird smells a turd?
Yeah. Because I didn't want to say bird. Like, how else do you describe a bird? A flying animal, right?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Did you like my description?
I liked your description of turd. And the flying bird.
I guess it could have said poop or something else.
Yeah.
I think I was just trying to get, like, very descriptive so I wouldn't say anything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hint-like, you know? Okay, cool.
Frodo, nobody gets him. Just nobody gets him.
Oh, is that's it? I gotta start the timer. Frodo, nobody gets him. Nobody gets him. Hobbit is emo.
It's gotta rhyme. Think of
Frodo. Hobbit is lonely.
No, Hobbit is not a pop culture. Hobbit is not like the name of a character. It's like a pop culture character. So sometimes it's a character, sometimes it's an actor, sometimes it's a politician, sometimes it's a musician.
The actor that is Frodo has a name.
He has a name,
and
no one gets him.
Emo.
No.
Sad.
No.
Lonely.
No one gets him. No one's hanging out with him. Not if he was emo, I would say he's very sad and he has dark hair that's in front of his face. No one gets him.
Misunderstood.
Yes. That's part of the answer. Do you know his name?
Elijah Wood is misunderstood. Yeah, I did
You
get that in
yeah,
15
you did get
seconds.
that
Oh,
point.
man.
Yeah, so we're tied still.
Okay. The Dark Knight enjoys this Canadian pop singer's music.
Okay. Heath Ledger. I don't know a Canadian pop singer. Is it Heath Ledger? No? Dark Knight? Oh, sorry. The Batman. God dang it. Wait, shoot. What's his name? What's Batman's name? Oh, is it just Batman?
It's just Batman. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the actor.
Yeah.
And it's Canadian music?
I think he's Canadian.
Well, you need to be
He
sure
lives in the
about
U.S.
this.
now, but I think he was from Canada.
Batman listens to
50 Cent helped find him.
Bieber? Wait, that doesn't rhyme.
Batman is...
A Bieber fan?
Yeah!
Oh, that's okay. Is Justin Bieber from Canada?
Yeah, right? I think
Is he
so.
from Canada?
Canadian singer-songwriter.
Okay, fine.
Oh.
Okay, we're still tied.
See, you just don't know your pop culture enough because I have all of the pops and the cultures.
You do. You're very cultured.
I'm very cultured.
An upset feline is consuming the thing she wears on her head.
A lioness.
No, it's not a lioness. It's not just a noun. It's a pop culture figure.
Oh, geez.
An upset feline. Very disgruntled.
Upset feline?
A disgruntled feline.
Angry cat ate her hat. Angry cat ate her hat.
Angry cat. You were
It's
so
like
close.
An upset feline.
Yes.
Oh, hat.
You got the last part right.
Ate her hat.
Yeah, but what's the first part? It's not angry cat.
Catwoman.
No, it's a disgruntled feline. She's upset and disgruntled.
Sad cat.
I'm doing the face.
Grumpy cat. Grumpy
Yes.
cat ate her cat. What was my first attempt?
Your first attempt was just like
Sad
you just
cat.
said lioness.
No, I said like upset cat ate her hat.
You said angry cat.
I said that I should get it. I should get it. That was like
No.
90%
You were
of the
just-
way. 90% of the way.
0%. You should get deducted points because your brain went to angry cat and didn't make the jump to grumpy cat.
Wildly successful fiction horror writer is underwater and breathing through a mask, but at the surface, not really far down.
Stephen King is snorkeling.
Oh, dang it, you got it so quick.
Yeah.
It's because my clue was so good.
It was just too good. You also read it very slowly.
Okay.
A fictional, or the original Disney character. If you're going to think of the original Disney character, he's a fictional animal, and he is in
What?
a thing that is often a blow-up inflated castle that you jump in.
Bouncy. What's it called? Bouncy castle.
Yeah, it's not, but it's castle isn't the word because I used the word castle.
Dumbo. It's a male.
It's a male.
The original Disney?
Think about like original Disney.
Snow White?
No, like if you think of Disney, who's the face of Disney?
Walt Disney?
No, it's a character and he's an animal. I said he was an animal. He's got large ears.
Lion King? Dumbo?
No, it's not Dumbo. He's got large ears.
Large ears. Dumbo. He can
But
fly
Dumbo's
with
not
them.
the original.
Large-eared Disney character. Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
Bouncy House.
Yeah.
It is Bouncy House.
Yeah.
A bouncy house.
Mickey
Is that-
Mouse in a bouncy house.
Is that even a thing, guys?
You know?
Comment below. Is that a dumb clue? A Disney mouse. Mickey Mouse in the bouncy house.
I think it was great.
So bad. Okay, ready?
I think you're just mad because you haven't gotten it.
I am mad because I haven't gotten it.
It's 2-1. I'm winning right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you ready?
And I start the timer once you finish the clue?
Yeah.
Okay.
A jolly fat man that lives in the North Pole is watching a scary movie about a shark.
Santa Claus watching Jaws.
Yeah.
That was so easy.
Well, it's because I gave you such a fantastical clue. I'm the best clue giver. That you winning is me winning. You know, right? I think so.
Yeah.
My logic checks out.
Okay. the woman that has a very popular talk show who often gives away cars is at a competition where she needs to put the letters of a word in a correct order.
Oprah plays bingo? No, scramble. Letters in the correct order?
She needs to tell someone what a word is based on putting the letters in the correct order.
See, I think this is a failure from the clue giver. It's not my fault.
I can't use certain words.
Okay, Oprah. Do I need her last name too?
Yeah, you need her last name.
Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm. What's a like word/letter competition that rhymes with Oprah Winfrey? Mainly with the free part of Oprah Winfrey.
Wheel of Fortune.
Does Wheel of Fortune rhyme with Oprah Winfrey?
No. Winfrey. Free.
Mm-hmm. Free, with the free part. Yeah.
Free.
She says at a competition where she has to put letters of a word in the correct order.
Letters of a word in the correct order.
It's a common competition in like school.
Spelling bee.
Yeah.
Oh. See, I was thinking a game show or something.
Well, I said competition. I didn't say game show.
See, Oprah Winfrey wins the spelling bee.
How else would you describe a spelling bee without using the word spelled?
Okay. A talk show host who likes to give away cars is at a school competition where students compete to...
but it's not always school or students.
See, that would have been a good hint for me. Because, like, do adults do spelling bees?
No, but I think it's like, doesn't it happen like at camps sometimes? I don't know. I never went to summer camp.
I
didn't want to limit it.
Where young kids compete to see who can put words in the correct order.
Who can put letters in the correct order?
Letters in the correct words in the... Yeah, that would have been very complicated.
It's kind of hard.
It is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just giving you too easy things.
I think you're just giving me ones that are too easy.
Yeah, I think I might.
Step it up.
You know, I'm going to try to get you to guess Sean Beetle eats a sardine. Or Sean Bean eats a sardine. See, I don't even know who Sean Bean is.
Well, yeah, I don't either.
See? Getting you to guess that would have been very hard.
Yeah, but you also couldn't do a clue for it if you don't know who the person is.
Yeah, see, I was about to give you Spider-Man is a Barbie fan, but that would have been too easy. Yeah, see, I think that I was going for the really easy one.
No, give me like a medium.
Okay, I'll give you a medium.
Okay.
Medium.
Like the Justin Bieber one was good.
Okay.
Because I didn't know he's from Canada.
One of your favorite... I'm not sure if he's a director or... One of your favorite...
I think I know who it is. Is it Tim Burton?
Dang it. I was like, okay, one of your favorite movie creators is looking through something that covers windows.
Tim Burton looks through a curtain.
Dang it. See, I'm just too good at giving clues. I just know you too well. I see the ones that I know you're going to get.
Don't give me those ones.
Okay.
It's probably like 4-1 right now.
Dang it. Yeah, probably.
You can go again. Do you want to go again?
No, but then you're just going to get more clues.
Oh, yeah,
you're going to
right.
get more points. Okay, I have a good one. This is you know it,
okay.
But this is going to be like next level difficulty for you for the next one.
Let's do it.
No, but you
I
need to earn my point.
Okay. A giant green superhero is very upset and pouting about it.
Hulk is sulk.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I want to give you one.
Hulk is sulk.
The wording of this is really weird. The wording is, the Hulk is in a sulk.
See, that's so dumb.
But, I mean, but you don't have to guess the exact wording.
Hulk sulk. Yeah.
Hulk sulk. You could just guess
the Hulk sulk.
Literally the only two words that rhyme.
A type A character in Friends is breaking into a house.
Monica is breaking a lockaka. Monica is breaking into a house.
Oh, I gotcha with that one. 15 seconds has passed.
Okay. Is it Monica?
Nope.
Okay, is it the actress? Courtney
Yes.
Cox picking locks.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Well, see, the thing is, when you guess the character instead of the actor, I would tell you like, oh, keep going. It's not the characters' names. You're just like shaking your head in silence.
But I was panicking because I didn't have the timer up and I had to count on my fingers.
That's
you know,
true.
There were extenuating circumstances.
I'm gonna pull up the timer on my phone too. That way we're not passing it back and forth. Yeah, extenuating circumstances. Main character in Ghostbusters and so many other movies is eating a spicy Indian dish. He also played himself in a movie we were talking about recently. You got the dish right. Oh, I didn't start this.
Curry.
Yeah. Who's like the main guy in Ghostbusters? It's a guy.
I know his name.
You know his face.
I know his face.
This is one everyone's gonna give you crap about not knowing.
Okay, this is the best. I just need to like really quickly. For everyone who's listening, you can't see this, but Katelyn set a timer.
Oh, for 14 hours? Oops.
For 14 hours. Thank you for the generous.
I just knew it's going to take you a really long time to guess this one. Okay, but yeah, your 15 seconds are up.
Oh, dang it. I'm going to get a lot of crap for this.
You're going to get a lot of crap. Okay, I'll give you more clues. He's also...
I know who he is. I just can't say his name.
Well, you know his last name rhymes with curry.
Murray. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Bill Murray eats curry. I'm so bad at names and stuff.
You're really bad at names.
I'm really bad at names. I know. Okay. Ace Ventura actor owns a bird.
Okay. Jim Carrey owns a canary.
Yeah, man. Like you even got like the owns a canary.
Well, you said owns. Yeah, you're actually not supposed to say that. You're supposed to like has a bird as a pet. The rapper that's like, hold up, hey.
Already lost me. Restart. Hold up, hey. Hold up that hay, please. Excuse me. Will you hold this hay? Yeah, you have to hold up the hay. It's like you're bench pressing.
Okay.
Bench pressing that hay.
Keep going.
Who was that?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Okay. Think so Neo likes to preserve foliage from the outdoors and dry it to save it for later. He preserves it in a book. Neo. The actor who plays Neo? Good thing I don't know his name at all. You know his name.
I don't know Neo's name. Do I?
He's also in Bill and Ted.
Oh,
he was also in...
Oh, yeah. You're right. Duh. I do know his name.
You know his name? Oh, too bad your time's up.
Dang it. I do know his name.
Yeah, you do. You do know his name. Everyone's going to give you crap about
Everyone's going to give me crap about that, too. Yeah. No. I know all of the movies he's from. He's from, like, John Wick. He's from a whole bunch of things. Yeah. And there's a meme about him being sad.
Guy who there's a meme about him being sad, sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
Likes to... So use the other part of the clue.
Okay.
So if someone likes to preserve foliage...
They press it in a book.
Mm-hmm. So what is that called?
Pressing paper in a...
Not paper.
Dry flower pressing.
He likes to press...
Flowers.
It's not flowers. It's foliage. It's another part of a plant that's not a flower. Just think of the most normal word because I'm avoiding saying it.
Plant.
No, he doesn't press plant. It's the other part of like a plant that one might press
roots.
Aside from... No, you don't press roots.
Flower press. Flower.
No, it's not flower. I already told you it's not the flower. It's not the flower. It's not the roots because no one does that. Don't say bark. Don't say trunk or branch. It's none of the woody parts. It's a green part.
Leaf.
Yeah. So he presses leaves.
That.
Yeah. So blank likes to press leaves.
Press leaves?
Press leaves.
Who presses leaves?
People. This guy.
Don't they do it with flowers and pretty things, not leaves?
Some people do leaves. Think about like the green.
Lame.
No.
Lame. Press leaves.
You know when we did our project with the
Keanu Reeves likes to press leaves. Press leaves.
Okay, you can't like get all up in arms about the press leaves part. The part you couldn't get was Keanu Reeves.
Okay. a very famous cyclist who has battled cancer for a long time is using a paraphernalia that is associated with marijuana.
Lance Armstrong smokes a bong.
Oh, I completely misread this. I thought it was a bong.
What was it?
But it wasn't a bong.
I was thinking that's very not PG.
Yeah, okay. Let's try this again. A famous cyclist hits a loud instrument.
Hits a gong?
Yeah. Banging a gong. I thought it was banging a football.
Oh my God.
He has a reputation for using
performance enhancing.
Performance, but like,
I don't know if that would
the gong
count.
would not enhance his performance.
Gong?
I mean, the bong. Go faster! Bang, bang, bang. Oh my gosh.
So what is it, like 5-1 now?
Okay,
No, 5-2. You got Hulk.
I got Hulk. Okay.
It's probably like 5-2.
Well, I think that this is my last chance to get to 3. I think that we should call it soon here.
Okay. The guy that just has the best speaking voice and people want him to narrate their lives, he played God in a movie once, is battling an unholy creature.
Morgan Freeman battles a demon.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. All right, that's a good place to end today's game show segment. You know what? Who even cares about score? I wonder if, we're
It's
even.
definitely at least like 6-3.
The score will be displayed up above
We'll
in the
display
video
it.
version. Because I was not fully counting. We pretty much tied, probably. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's. Oh no, we need to do things of the week.
Things of the week, the
Things
part
of the
we
week.
almost always forget.
So, my thing of the week is something we've been slowly adding to our life, but it's reinforced kitchen utensils that are made from a single piece of silicone. So there's no seams. They're really easy to clean, and there's a whole bunch of different shapes and everything that are. You can get them in. I don't know. I'm not really selling this too well, but
It's like, okay, so like you're using a kitchen utensil, and there's often like a seam between the like head of it and the handle.
yeah, usually like metal and plastic or something like that.
Or something like that. And like bits always get in the seam. And it's really
Yeah.
hard to clean. Sometimes the two
Or
parts
there's like,
pop off.
or it's like all plastic or some composite, and then there's rubber bits for grip, and then the rubber bits start peeling off, and there's stuff that gets underneath them, and it's just
and
it's
a
just
lot of
nasty,
times, part of it, like the head of it will be heat resistant, but like the handle's not. So if you
Yeah.
rest the handle,
Yeah.
then it melts.
So it's like these are all high temperature silicone, like 600 degrees Fahrenheit.
The entire thing is like from a single mold. There's
Well, like
no seams.
The really cool part about it is even cooler than that. If someone just had like injection molded silicone, that'd
just
be
be
like
floppy.
floppy. But what they do is they like have like a reinforced like inner part, and then the silicone one piece outside,
Yeah.
so that it's sanitary and easy to clean, and that.
But it's reinforced.
But it's reinforced, so it's still usable. And I think that's just like, I think that just really appeals to me from like a design standpoint. Plus, like, we're always looking for ways to streamline our life. And even though like cleaning an instrument that you cooked with for 5 seconds versus, 30 or 45 seconds or whatever, it's not that big of a difference, but it's just like optimizing. I love optimizing and good design and stuff. So we just recently, we started with the spoonchula, which is an amazing invention all upon itself.
I love the spoonchula.
The spoonchula.
It's like a spatula mixed with a spoon.
Yeah, so great. But we've been expanding into their entire line of products, and they just make good stuff. And
We'll put links to the ones we get.
yeah, I just thought it's something that more people need to know about, because
The people need to know.
it's just as expensive as a normal one, but it's just so much better.
Yeah.
And that just like is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's my thing of the week.
So my thing of the week is the current Smarter Everyday series.
Yeah.
That's all about like different algorithms. So it's a 3-part series. He's done the first 2. The first one was YouTube, the second one was Twitter, and the next one is Facebook. But it's so fascinating, and like a lot of it, it's about the algorithm, but it's also about how people are gaming the algorithm and like
This like secret battle that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it definitely makes me not envy being in the position of YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or any of them, because they're constantly battling people trying to game the system, and it's about how people have tried to game it, and just like the huge volume of gaming the system that is out there, and like what they've had to deal with. It's just crazy. It's super fascinating.
It's like how Twitter has to, like, I forget the numbers. I'm going to be butchering things, but like, let's say that 1 million accounts are created. I think like maybe like a third of those are accounts that are just robots that they have to block or something like that.
Yeah, I forget the exact numbers, but
I'm not sure
like,
if it was like 1 million a day or 1 million a week, but
I think
it's
it was
something
like, I feel like there's
ridiculous.
something like millions of tweets every day that get blocked.
Yeah.
Because they're robot tweets. It was it's just like, we're probably getting the numbers wrong, but it's crazy.
The scope and scale of the problem is insane.
It's insane.
And
it's like a secret battle behind the scenes.
It's also interesting because like there's no winning.
Yeah, there's no winning.
For anyone almost. It's always just like a compromise between, it's like, let's just try to make it the best that we can, because there will be spam that gets through and there will be legit content that doesn't get through. But if none of the countermeasures were being taken, then it'd be a lot worse. So
we would just constantly be spammed with fake stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they went too extreme on the other end, then so many non-fake accounts would get accidentally flagged. Yeah. But anyways, it's super fascinating. So we'll link to that, the Smarter Everyday algorithm series.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining on this week's podcast.
Yeah, long pondcast.
Yes, it was a long pondcast, and we'd really enjoy it if you left our pondcast some reviews on whatever platform you're using, or if you shared our pondcast with some friends or family.
Yeah, don't call it a pondcast when you tell them. They might be confused.
Bye!